Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me live. So today we have a meditation on the letter Alef, the Hebrew letter, the first letter of the alphabet. Again, about Jewish meditation. We know little here in the Western countries. We know very little about Jewish meditation. Meditation for us is typically it comes from Far East, like Buddhist meditation, Hindu meditation, yoga if you're planning to start, Eastern traditions. But every spiritual tradition has its own way of meditation. Meditation, it means focusing. It's not what it means meditation. It's not actually activity. It's a state of being aware of your own awareness. I will describe it like shortly. I know that from Christian traditions, Eastern Orthodox Christianity, they also have a tradition of contemplation, which is similar to meditation, observing. There's also tradition in Buddhism and mindfulness. There are some other those traditions that I'm very familiar with. And a Jewish meditation is specific. It's also it has its own way. Even if meditation has like international name, but it comes from Latin, it means between, or meditare, contemplate, focus, concentrate. So it means like it's between a state between thoughts, like Mediterranean Sea between land. But but in Hebrew tradition also they use the word meditatia. That's like someone on those common words, that came in the Jewish language, but also they have their own word, hitbadadut. In Hebrew, it means solitude, but solitude reflected on its like reflective self-reflection. Solitude being in solitude with oneself, or something reflective. There's no real, not easy to translate, but that essentially it means solitude, being aware and being in solitude. And in Jewish tradition, Jewish mysticism as we know it, they used letters to concentrate and meditate. And if you're a little bit familiar with Jewish mysticism, every letter means something. And it's like it carries its own vibration. And in this way, every letter could create a slightly different state. And each letter could be viewed as a device, a vehicle through which energy flows through. So it's like it's like a tool that helps us concentrate and perceive that energy. When we start with letter Aleph. Letter Aleph is the first letter in the alphabet, like letter A in many, or R in many other languages. They start with the first sound. But specific in the Hebrew alphabet, it's the only letter that has no sound. And it has its vision, it has its sign, it has its like icon, sign, you can say. But by itself, it has no sound. It produces no sound. It makes a sound only when it's with other vowels. Then it creates a sound. But letter itself has no sound. It's probably we can think about it as if we think about it as a soul that's present in us, the soul it's nothing. It can't act in the world. It just is. It's a state of consciousness. It just is. It's being. By itself, you can't use it at all. It has to be with something else to live in this world and to create and function in this, just function in this world. Letter Aleph, it stands for figure number 1, which is, of course, one. It could be perceived as oneness, as wholeness. Letter Aleph also is composed of 3 elements, and we based our drawing, and you can do meditation later on your own. But today we will do just drawing that will help us achieve that state of meditative state, or at least concentration state, focus. And later you can do your own meditation. So I will switch to my camera. Okay, so letter itself. I hope everybody's familiar with the letter Aleph. That looks something like this. It has three elements, like a diagonal Vav letter and two Yud, upper and lower. Look at this. And that's only the letter when it's slanted. This letter, as it's, you can see in print, but there's also cursive writing. When you write by hand, this letter will look like this. So this is like what you see it in print. And there are two elements. It's the upper Yod and lower. So this upper part, it represents our like soul, what we mean a higher soul, which is in Hebrew would be, in the Hebrew language, is Nefesh Elohim, the higher soul. And the low one is a Nefesh Behamit, which means the one is animal soul. What helps us to function in this world. And only when they are connected, we can connect it, and then in the right proportion, and the right, we're able to perform well in this world and also feel ourselves very composed. We're not torn by division. You know how much we're divided. I will not talk about even the psychology element. There are probably also personalities that combine and they create as our character, persona that we function in this world. I'm not touching that because there's also, in addition to those two divisions, there is also other divisions, but that's, I don't want to talk about psychology. But supposedly that we're here, we're kind of united. It's not only contradiction, but also the fact that we're rarely aware about that upper soul, upper higher soul. It's not high, it's just something that allows us to connect with the so-called spiritual world, let's move it like this. But by itself, it's not felt at all. So you need to go in a specific training after a while when you can become aware of it, conscious of it. It exists, it's present, but not everyone is conscious of it. And when we talk about the soul itself, our individual soul, what we feel like being alive, and we know expressions like, oh, my soul wants, my soul desires, and not true. That part of it is indifferent. And that's I'm telling you from my own experience. But without it, we will not be able to live. It's something that gives us life. Okay, so we can do now based on that. And this diagonal, this letter Vav, like kind of inclined, it's like connector between the animal soul and the higher soul. So when these two dimensions exist at the same time, and it's not a good idea to separate them. They exist and they're together. And this is what makes us the human beings. And in our class, in the short meditation, I just would like to use NeuroGraphicArt and neurographic elements to make us more aware of them and through the connector to make them function together. I don't know whether correct words. I hope you understand me. Okay? I would like to invite you to get some paper a drawing paper, and we'll start drawing. I hope that everyone is familiar with NeuroGraphica enough, with a neurographic line, with rounding, and the basic step that when we create a drawing. So we'll use all of that, but just to create a shape. So first I would suggest slightly like a format. I never use the pencil. And I would say about like a frame. I put a frame on my page. And also my letter, as you can see, it's almost like square, Alef. And I define it, the border, where my letter is located. So here's a diagonal. And I make this diagonal wider. This will inclined wow. I make it a little bit. And the yod upper. Connector. And the lower. So because the drawing will be, you make them a little bit wider, even wider, because the drawing itself will be located within. So this is like our template first. So then I will take a marker that I'm going to draw. I probably will use, I would like to use a blue one. Okay. To balance the two, I would like to use the element of, the very first technique that we study in NeuroGraphica is algorithm for removing inner constraints. And now I would like to use catharsis, just a very small emotional outburst in each of those shapes. It's a very light one, please do not go all the way. So I will start with the top one. And I concentrate on I want to feel that. I want to feel that element of my being, I want to feel that essence. And maybe my thoughts, my mind, the chattering mind, does not allow to feel that, to be aware of it, to be conscious of it. So that's what I'm working with. It's my, there is nothing that I want to correct it. It's good as it is, but what I would like to be more aware of it. So for this, so we're working, the theme for today is just to bring the two together. Being aware of them, of our two souls, and also make them through connector, connect them again, and to function well. So I will put my hand and I do a very small catharsis here. It could be outside. This is just preliminary, but if it goes all over the place, it's okay. So breathe in and okay, here's a small one, very gentle. And also I will use a similar one in this one, in the lower one. A little bit more active. And because everyone is familiar with, I will round the corners inside of all those two figures. Just at the beginning, just the inner corners. course, we will connect them later. Now, maybe I just connect it to the end of the page. And the same I'm going to do on the lower one. Just around the corners for now. Just all the inner lines. I can draw double lines using NeuroGraphic line. And I'm just breathing and observing my hands. What I'm also doing, I'm trying to get my attention a little bit behind myself. So I'm observing myself drawing this. So outside. Here's a very sharp corner, and then because I know what I'm going to do next, and you probably know because everybody's familiar with NeuroGraphic, or you can take it from to the side of the page. To connect the two. Maybe even here. Okay, so I have the two figures, two catharsis, like emotional, that's processed with my marker. My next step, so that was Alef. Of course, it's a perfect letter, like it was created, and according to belief and tradition, letters, Hebrew letters were given to us, and every letter has its own vibration and carries its own energy. So they're perfect as they are, and there's something to do with energy. So that's why my first idea was to create this original blueprint of the letter Aleph. Here, my version of what happens to me in relation to my conditions right now. But I would like to take this blueprint, take my imprints, so they're like my avatars too, my avatar in relation to this topic, let's say. So my imprint, what I did, how the way I feel today. I take these perfect letters, these outlines, and I will connect, and now I draw this letter. Using NeuroGraphic lines, here they are. Because I'm using my NeuroGraphic lines, And here this upper Yud. It's almost connected. And now you add those blueprint, that perfect letter Aleph, and I added and I tried to combine the two together. So my imprint, my impression, and the letter, the perfect blueprint. And again, when I'm doing this, I'm rounding the corners. So all these intersections, rounding. If this is, I have something sticking out, of course I connect it. Rounding. But while rounding at the same time, I would like to letter itself, this blueprint, to be more obvious than my imperfect lines. So I can add extra weight to my lines. And I connected this figure with the background, with the neurographic lines, and just following the basic algorithm, the formula. But my focus, of course, on the letter Aleph. So with this is the connector that connects the two. And I make the lines and I create the lines that I feel this space in between with my lines now. They're not chaotic like in those two, but that's actually what I would like, and kind of creating my action, my participation in the world. They're just lines. So I'm feeling this connector with my personal lines. One direction, another. If you're familiar, it's like drawing the lines in the algorithm for clarifying intentions, when we were just drawing lines and trying to find our ideas and inspiration. It's something similar. It's almost like I'm looking for myself, searching for my ideas, searching for my present, for my actions in this world. Of course, I'm rounding an intersection. I know this will be my final shape, so I can strengthen the shape. I can make it more prominent, the shape of the connector, this diagonal line. And now we have ourselves and we have the world around us. So we can use the lines to connect, to fill it, the background, to explore our environment. This could be just lines, like irregular lines, but fine lines. So the focus is on this figure, on our image, on the letter itself. But the background we use like very light lines, so fine, thin lines. They could be lines, they could be also figures. The way how you can imagine your environment. Maybe it's very friendly and we can draw a circle here, giving it some energy. I feel like it's a very nice shape, so I mentioned the circle and I think I can include a circle here. I want to feel that I project my impression, my idea of the environment on the reality. So if I imagine that it's friendly towards me, it will be friendly. It's like our projection. So this is nice circle. So the circles that can give us energy, power, friendliness. Okay, here's another one. Oops, this is interesting. My hand, I just didn't do anything. It just created its own circle. It's almost perfect. I don't know what it is. It just happened that I drew this circle. And originally, I limited myself with these frames. But my drawing went beyond the frame. So like kind of expanding my original comfort zone. I don't know what this circle represents. I just some presence. I don't know what it is, but I trust it. Especially I like this. It's quite. If you feel like you may include triangles, if you need a little bit of change, something change, and that's a good idea. Okay, I will probably think about triangles. I have enough. Yes, maybe some. I would like some change. Okay, here it is. I want to include triangle, and here it is. And I can just add the line and create triangle. Upright, like pointing up. Sharpen. Like. So that's a little bit from advanced courses. I don't know if you listen to me now and you didn't take neurocomposition course, you don't know that triangles represent a change, and they're very powerful figures in terms, but they also change is always connected with conflict. So be careful with triangles, and if you feel that a little bit too much for you, just around the corners. So I will look again of these figures. So I'm still keeping an eye on the letter Alef. The letter is my main my main element. Those, the other ones are just background. They're final lines and lightweight. Of course, I will, these pencil lines, it's possible to erase now. So my sketch. So this will connect it with more lines, connecting my figure to the background. Here's another, maybe I need another triangle here. So it's very much, now it's individual, whether you feel like you need some more action, you're welcome to include triangles. If not, if you just want to relax, feel light, like meditative state, you can continue with circles and just lines. But I feel like I need more energy now. And here it is. And I will just extend my lines and create a triangle. And I used the lines that from original catharsis, that's small one, because I want to that state of that inner conflict. I don't know. I don't want to see it, so that's why I will be happy to eliminate it by drawing different figures. So I want to forget those original lines. So that's why I add figures and kind of diffuse those cathartic lines into new figures, creating a new, completely new impression. So that's why I can add, here's another one, okay, this triangle, and I would like to use maybe another one, this corner. And of course, I will do a little bit of more rounding. Few more lines. Again, I'm emphasizing the letter Alef. If you need, you can round the connecting lines. And it's probably time to start integrating this figure, this drawing, by applying colors. So if you have extra space left here, it's not a problem. Or when I take a photograph, I might even, cut it off, trim it. With colors. I need more, okay, more energy maybe. So I'm using the red color strategically because I need more, like, more passion right now. I feel like I need more passion, more action, more fire. And you know that the red is the color of fire. The, the, the theory of the 5-element theory. And fire is typically needs to, yes, light. Yes, yes. Almost the last. A bit pink here. A bit orangey maybe. Also, I'm thinking green is energy of this element of the wood element, and the 5-element theory is everything to do with movement, with spontaneity, with creativity. And what supports wood and water, the element of water supports wood, nourishes the wood, and wood is wisdom. Sorry, water. Water nourishes wood, and if wood element is creativity, everything related to youth, movement, interest, and water is more like it's fluid, it's heavy, and it's more about depth and wisdom. my preliminary colors, and I will work on colors more later. So to complete this drawing, graphic drawing, I also would like to include another element is of course the field lines. The field lines that carry most energy, so that align us with the life forces. You know, so I will draw my field lines as like energy is coming from I don't know, from above, from light, from some kind of support from a known source, from above, from a, like so, and then so I'll just strengthen one of the lines. Almost this field line that I chosen to draw is almost coincide with one of the sides of the triangle, and it goes down. I feel like I need a little bit more energy, and and here's another that I'm almost like I look at this side, and intuitively I would like to use one of the lines here, and I draw it along the line, and it comes down. Using some of the existing lines and the new lines. So these are two lines are typically enough for this size of the drawing. And maybe I need one more line. I'm not sure on this side and on this side, but I will wait. So it's when I will apply the colors finally, and of course do the rounding, connecting, integrating the elements. So those filled lines belong to connected to the figure. So this is my preliminary drawing. It's almost done, but I will work more on the colors, on the lines, and we'll finish it a little bit later. And of course, I will post it in our group, the finished drawing, and I will include the finished drawing in my edited version of this video. on my attention, I wonder what it is here. Because of the color and because of all the intersecting elements, my attention is here. I don't know what it is now. So I will, when I finish my colors, I will think whether I need to apply it when I have this feeling to go with this circle. It will be like a, maybe it is because it's just in the middle. Maybe it's the final one. But then I would like, okay, including that letter. Yes, this will be like between the lines and taking the combining all the three elements. And I like this yellow color. Ooh, so good. Since I put much more pressure now on my pencil. That's almost like a sunrise. And the red, wow. Class for today, a short one. So when I post the video, you're welcome to share your drawings, and I look forward to seeing your drawings. And also, it would be interesting to your experience. Yeah, thank you, and thank you so much for your support. I'm glad you enjoyed, and we will continue. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing your drawings. Please share them, okay? And have a wonderful day.